We've each independently experienced people on speakerphone in steam rooms and saunas.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. In a 3-4 person enclosed sauna, speakerphone. What are you, nuts?
Well, why do they
People
have a phone?
lost their minds?
But the phone would be damaged in the sauna anyway, right?
There's an epidemic of people with phones in saunas.
Wow.
As a sauna guy, yeah, constantly. Steam room, too. I'm like, so much moisture.
You guys are in a lot of saunas and steam rooms. What's going on?
We're married. No, I'm kidding.
Two Jews, both big and tall, no subject too small for the good guys. A Mother's Dream premium podcast team, make it your weekly routine. It's a Good Guys. And if you don't give us 5 stars, what are you nuts? What are you nuts? Yeah, we're the good guys, we're not the great guys. We're just the good guys. Whoa.
We already have started. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, we have the great Rainn Wilson here, brilliant actor, podcaster, author, theater actor. I saw you recently on the stage.
Where?
Theater. Well, I will tell you, but you guys are just talking about the Knicks, and it makes sense.
And Knicks fan.
This is a high T, uber masculine pod. I don't know if you noticed, but this is just like, look at me, I'm boy.
This is broke, just total bro culture over here.
Barstool adjacent.
Fuck you, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I'll jizz in your bald head. Come on, let's do it right now.
Jiu-jitsu naked.
That doesn't make me gay if I jizz in your bald head.
No.
And, which would be fine anyway.
Yes,
but
I'm not gay for watching.
Yeah. Hey, enjoy the show. You know. Oh my God.
You might be gay for watching. But that's fine.
We're actors. We don't do things without an audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw you in Waiting for Godot.
Whoa.
At the Geffen Playhouse.
That's crazy.
And it was kind of a fun.
Why would you come to Waiting for Godot? I'm having trouble.
What?
Well, I'm thinking about your Vine comedy videos and your show, the Nickelodeon show and the pod and stuff like that. It doesn't quite sync up to me.
You missed all the things I'm proud of.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. It's just an Oppenheimer. Here's the thing. I love theater, and we're a bit, we don't get enough of it, in my opinion, in LA.
We don't, yeah.
And I'll never forget, I had heard so much about the show, and friends of mine who love theater had seen it, and it was the final performance. And
wow.
I have 2 kids and a pregnant wife.
Wow.
And I just was like, I found a single ticket for the last performance.
No way.
And so there I am walking around Westwood. I'm like, I am an autist. I have a single ticket to the theater. And I sat there and loved it. You were awesome.
Oh, great.
Yeah, what a great show.
I'm so proud of that show. I really am. We worked so fucking hard on that thing. I don't know that I've worked harder on anything I've ever done in my life than on that play. It was Waiting for Godot, for those who don't know, Samuel Beckett. It's this kind of postmodern existentialist, kind of also vaudeville romp. It's part comedy and part like despair and kind of all this kind of eclectic language. And it's hard, man. It's hard. Really challenging on every level as an actor. And we struggled to bring it to life, but I'm really proud of the production.
Well, it's also over 2 hours where you really don't leave the stage.
No.
Ever.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And whenever I left the stage, which was only for like 5 to 15 seconds at a time, I would just be like guzzling water. For a while, like it was so draining on my body. I'd use, those little the goo things.
Yeah, like for Iron Man or like triathlon.
You drink the carbo goos. Like I was shooting carbo goos backstage. Yeah. Fuck you, Joe Rogan. Yeah. I was doing carbo goos backstage. I'm Waiting for Godot, man. But it's worse than MMA. Yeah.
Rainn gets like a bunch of Cliff Bars and goose sent to him, and they're like, "Oh, are you doing like the Boston Marathon?" He goes, "No, Shakespeare."
Samuel Beckett.
That's so good. Do you love doing stage? I know you're trained as a theater actor.
Yeah, I do, and I'm so grateful for it. I started in the theater. I fell in love with it. I had I always struggled to find my tribe. I was such a nerdy kid. I played the bassoon in the orchestra. I was on the chess team. I was in Model United Nations.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And then I got into theater and all of a sudden, like, the world changed. Like, I was accepted and I could be funny and goofy. And it was a weird tribe of, misfits.
Yeah.
And we're putting on a show, and and there were cute girls around, and they would laugh at my jokes sometimes, and I was like, I'm in it to win it. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And so I went to theater school in New York. We were talking about the Knicks. I moved to New York in the late 80s to go to theater school at NYU, and I was doing theater, and the reason I realized that I needed to get into TV and film was I had just done this Shakespeare theater tour with the actor Jeffrey Wright. You know Jeffrey Wright?
I just worked with him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
In what?
On The Last of Us.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. He's I've known him since 1991, 92, right in there.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Vivrel. Vivrel is the first of its kind luxury accessories members-only club, providing members access to borrowed designer handbags, jewelry, watches, and diamonds. Holy smokes. Members can treat the Vivrel closet like their own and can borrow anything within their tier. Vivrel has no return dates. Members can swap items once per month or keep items for as long as they'd like. Memberships start at $45 per month. The most popular is the Classique tier for $119 per month. There's no better time to sign up, as June is filled with the biggest drops ever, with drops including at least $1 million worth of inventory weekly. Inventory is incredible from brands like Hermes, Fendi, Saint Laurent, Dior, and more. Folks, use code GOODGUYS to get 30% off your first month's membership. If you go to Vivrel.com, Vivrelle.com, and apply for a membership today using code GOODGUYS for 30% off 1 month of membership. The code will also allow you to skip the Vivrel waitlist. That's Vivrelle.com. Use code GOODGUYS for 30% off 1 month of membership. That's code GOODGUYS to get 30% off your first month's membership. If you go to Vivrel.com, Vivrelle.com, and apply for a membership today using code GOODGUYS for 30% off 1 month of membership. The code will also allow you to skip the Vivrel waitlist. That's Vivrelle.com. Use code GOODGUYS for 30% off 1 month of membership.
And we finished this Shakespeare tour, and I was broke, and I had been working for I had like $1,200 in the bank, and I had been doing theater for 9 months. And then we went into the main the theater offices to get our mail, and he got a residual check for doing 3 days on a Harrison Ford movie for like $5,000. And he was like, yeah, I got $5,000. Oh my God. And in my head, I was like, okay, I need to do the TV and film. I can't survive otherwise. So that was like a big shift in my thinking at that point.
What you as a quasi-civilian, you're entertainment folk, Ben, but you're also an entrepreneur and do other things. What are your views on residuals? What do you think about them?
Well, first of all, residuals are a must. Josh didn't get any residuals for Drake and Josh because it was a kid's show. Just so you know.
But
he was on the most
memories.
He was on the most popular kid show of all time. Not a single dollar from fucking Nickelodeon and Joe Rogan.
We just had Steve Burns, Steve from Blues Clues, on our Soul Boom podcast, and I think it was the same kind of thing. And that is like a stake in my heart. That's so unfair to the kids and their families and college tuitions. And I mean,
awful.
Why is that an exception? It's non-union or something, or what?
It's so funny because obviously everyone has an opinion about everything. But what I will say is, in a world where the same people getting rich off my show are the same people getting rich off any massive TV show, except those actors get residuals, right? Like
Yeah.
that's only my position on it. It's like, in a world where this is the norm, to have these weird outliers like Blues Clues or Drake and Josh, or these shows that don't do residuals, it's not the coolest. But yeah, it was an AFTRA contract buyout. So they would pay you like the minimum wage, and that was considered like a buyout of all your residuals.
Wow. That's
Crazy,
terrible.
huh?
Yeah. I mean,
It's only taking advantage
what,
of kids.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
cool.
But putting that aside, taking advantage of kids, like what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a lot of middle class actors. You know, they
Yes.
think of actors and you look at, you look on Instagram or the Entertainment Weekly or whatever, and you're like, oh, everyone is like Gwyneth Paltrow and, flying around in their private jets and wearing Gucci and going to the Met Gala and stuff like that. But look on all these TV shows. I'm just watching The Pit, which is
So
a
good.
terrific show. I
Beyond.
love it.
We love it. We love it over
Yeah,
here.
it's so-
Big pick, guys.
But it's great seeing all of these, like, just so many guest stars and these work. And that's how I used to pay my rent, doing a guest spot on a show. And like, yeah. And you come in and you get between like $1,700 and $5,000 to do a guest spot on a TV show. And that's pretty good money, right? But where you really make your money is if it airs over and over again, you make the residuals, and you're going to make 2, 3, 4 times that over the life of the show or of your career. And that's just paying people's mortgages. It's paying for kids' tuitions. It's for their college funds. It's for Trader Joe's groceries, for the thousands and thousands of middle class actors, especially in New York and LA. And people don't really think about that, how important a role residuals play in that.
And to all the people saying like, well, you picked it. It's like, you know what? You need us. Like, you need us to be nuts and take the road less traveled
Yep.
and do this weird artsy life to give you a distraction from your incredibly hard life when you get home at the end of the day.
Or for your boring, pathetic, sad little lives.
That too. You
We
jerks.
provide
Losers.
a little bit of glamour, spice, humor, and panache
Razzle dazzle.
that you're missing. Suckers.
I'm fairly certain there's not one person that is arguing that you shouldn't get residuals, Josh. So you're like barking to the wrong group. There should be a class action suit. We should go down. Yeah, we should start picketing. I don't know. I think that there are reparations to be had. We could have you made whole within 5 years. If we have a targeted attack, Rainn, if we can get Rainn on board,
Sign me
I
up.
think we can get it done.
Sign
I
me
think
up.
we can get it done. I'm just saying.
When
think
I
we can
hear
get
the
it
word
done.
reparations, I think 90s kid actors.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
That is
all
the
I'm-
greatest injustice that needs to be righted
The
in cultural
original
America.
sin.
Yes.
Oh God.
And all I'm asking is a small 10% fee. I'm watching The Sopranos, Rainn, for the first time.
Yeah.
And as a Jew myself, I obviously I'm looking at Hesh. I'm like, this guy, this is amazing. I could be the Hesh of the kids' actors.
I love that.
I'll get you your reparations. I'll keep my fee. No problem.
Perfect. Win-win.
Right?
Win-win.
Win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win.
So you have your podcast, Soul Boom, and
Yes.
you've written a book with the same title.
Yes.
And it's sort of your foray, and tell me if I'm saying this correctly, your journey into discovering spiritual life and
Yeah.
finding, and listen, I don't know if you know this about Ben, he's very into Eastern medicine, which I think is his original foray into a spiritual life. Let's
Like New Jersey Eastern medicine?
say more. Tell him, Ben. Tell him the supplements you're on and what happened recently.
Is it
I
Ayurvedic medicine?
I love I love a good
Why are you
turmeric.
laughing?
I love a good
Ben, you laugh
turmeric.
too much, man.
Turmeric, Rainn.
You love some turmeric, yeah.
I love oil of oregano, even though I recently overdosed on it. I love magnesium.
How
for
do you
sleep.
overdose on oil of oregano?
See, this is an excellent question.
It's a
I thought that I could
powerful
take
oil, by the way. People, you have no idea.
I thought that it was just a wonderful anti-fungal, good for, I get a lot of sinus infections, or I did. I thought I could take it. All of a sudden I found out I'm taking too much of it. Maybe a little bit lightheaded, shouldn't take too much of it. You have to only take it at the onset of an infection. But when Josh says that, I am a man of Eastern medicine. I love my turmerics to reduce joint inflammation. I've done away with Advil, Rainn. No Advil for me. And I'm supplementing with these things, and it's working.
Good Guys Podcast brought to you by turmeric.
Yeah.
Big T. Big T.
Plenty. Thorn Pharmaceutical, whatever. So this is his foray into spirituality. He's also something I really respect about Ben. He went to the Yeshiva University in New York.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
Has a beautiful religious spiritual life. But I like talking about it. You and I were part of the secret club. 17 years.
Okay.
12 step.
Congratulations.
You're 12 step too.
Yep,
12
yep,
step guy.
yeah.
So I don't know. I just like talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an intersection between all of this stuff, which is, we kind of live in the secular materialist society that is like everything can be proven by science and reason, and there's kind of nothing beyond the material world. But anytime you're venturing into something where, different modalities of healing, whether you're looking at the kind of God-centered serenity that one needs to apply when you're in 12-step recovery, when you're thinking about what is sacred in your life, when when your wife is giving birth and this miracle of childbirth, unfolds in front of your eyes. Even we were talking about acting, and even like Waiting for Godot, like the idea that a couple of people could be sitting on this blank space, this empty space, lit, and a crowd of people in a dark room are watching this kind of strange story unfold, and you can be moved and transported and have transcendent emotions. Like all of these are pathways to the divine and spirituality. It doesn't have to be through church or synagogue or mosque or guru or what have you. There's a lot of different paths to explore when exploring spirituality, and that's what Soul Boom's about.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. We should end it right there. Goodbye, everybody.
that
was great.
That was fuck you, Joe Rogan. Goodbye, everyone.
It's interesting.
Dear
though,
media.
to hear
Fuck you, Joe Rogan.
It's interesting to hear you say all of that, because I recently, Josh and I joke about it, but my wife is 10 months pregnant. We went to a spa, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, and I did my first
10
ever
months
sound bath.
pregnant?
Yeah, it's really 10 months. It's really 10.
Technically, it's 10.
Really?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
You find out at 1 month that you're pregnant, and then there's 9 to go. So really, it's 10.
Wow.
Or 9 months, but I can say for 9. She's full term.
Okay.
She's full term.
Okay. Ready to pop. Yep.
And a couple months ago, we went to a spa, and I did my first ever sound bath. And I didn't know what it was. I went into it, and let me tell you, there is something as it relates to the way that sounds, especially with closed eyes and in a meditative state, can really transport you to just another world. I told Josh I was in there for an hour. I felt like I was in there for 10 minutes. And
wow.
There is this, if you haven't done a sound bath, they're amazing.
I have heard great things, and I've never really done a sound bath. But you know what I've done is those flotation tanks.
Float pod. Deprivation.
Yeah.
Sensory deprivation.
Yeah. And you sit in saline water that's the same temperature as your body, and you're enclosed, and you can just kind of lay back, and you can either have music playing or you can have it be total silence. But it's the same thing. Like at first you're like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Get me out of here. I'm claustrophobic. And you're like, oh my God, this is never going to end. And your mind is just like racing and worrying. And then all of a sudden you're just like in this completely Zen state. And they're like, then the lights come on slowly, and they're like, okay, your time's up. That's been an hour. And you're like, whoa, what the hell?
Wow.
Like it's a completely different relationship to time when you undergo some of these experiences.
It's amazing. And none of these are religious. That's what I love that you brought up. Like I am spiritually and religiously Jewish, but there is a relationship to a higher power that doesn't have to exist within the confines of religion. Like these experiences are clearly very deep and spiritual without being tied to something greater.
Right. And for me, one of the things I talk about in Soul Boom, like the most spiritual experience I've ever had was at a Radiohead concert. Where I was just utterly transported, and my heart was moved, and I was crying, and I'm in a sea of people that are just like moving, and no drugs involved, and it was utterly transcendent. And I think that connection between the arts and spirituality is something that isn't kind of explored enough. But that's not to poo-poo organized religion. And that's one of the points I try and make in the book and on the podcast is like, there are a lot of positive aspects of organized religion. It gets a bad rap in a lot of ways. It's responsible for a lot of wars, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of judgment, a lot of corruption. And I get why people, especially younger generations, would be leaving organized religion. But what I say in the book is like, sometimes we thrown the spiritual baby out with the religious bathwater. And are there things to be gained and learned from the community that we're missing? We're in this loneliness epidemic right now, especially among young people, mental health epidemic. And loneliness is as toxic to one's health as smoking half a pack of cigarettes a day. And, you know, and isn't it kind of funny that we're experiencing this, especially the younger generations, when we've discarded organized religion that gives you community and a shared sense of purpose and communal prayer and singing together. And yeah, it has some, you know, obvious drawbacks, and I can picture the comments section of this podcast right now with what people are saying around it. But there's much to be learned from what an organized religion brings to a community of people.
But it's also, everything is a microcosm. Like, I'll be in a, 12-step meeting and they'll say something about, like, can you believe so-and-so did this? I'm like, you know where we are, right?
Yeah.
like this is a clubhouse for carnies.
Yeah.
Like, we're drug addicts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe he cheated on so-and-so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I don't find any of it too surprising, because we're all just these human beings trying to, like, I don't know. I try to forgive myself for being human at times, to a certain extent. I saw that as one of the Stoic virtues recently. I'll take it anywhere I can get it, right?
Right.
Stoics, whatever. I'm in.
I love the Stoics, and I'm doing this like workbook right now. It's like the self-forgiveness shame workbook thing that my therapist had me do, and because I'm so hard on myself too. At the same, I talk a good game, but putting it into practice and self-forgiveness is really important. But you bring up the 12 steps, and the 12 step is it's the greatest. I think the Dalai Lama said it's the greatest spiritual movement of the last 100 years. And it's so beautiful in so many ways. But again, a community of people in shared transcendence, in surrender, relying on each other, needing each other, sharing each other's wisdom, experience, and hope, and, turning to a higher power. And it's an incredible, beautiful community. I've gotten so much out of it.
Yeah, I think the main reasons why it's been able to survive and be so impactful is that it's poor.
Yeah.
There's no governing body.
No.
And it has no opinion on outside issues.
Yeah, no, and servant leaders. Leaders that are elected, and there's no money to be gained anywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just have enough for the cookies and coffee.
Yeah,
hopefully.
the shitty coffee. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting it's an interesting thing. Do you think I suffer from this? I remember early on when I was getting sober, and it would be brought to me, this idea of ego and being egotistical and self-centered, and I was like, but of course I'm not self-centered, because that's reserved for people who like themselves, right? I said that's reserved for the quarterback and the cool guy, and I was like, and they said, if you spend your whole day thinking about how great you are or how awful you are, you're self-centered. So congrats, you're self-centered.
Yeah, that's so fascinating you say that. I've learned a lot about in therapy and in 12-step around narcissism. And narcissism is unlike what people think. It's not just like, oh, I'm the greatest. If you're also thinking like I'm the worst, that's also a form of narcissism. It's kind of this roller coaster between like, I'm the greatest and I'm a piece of shit. And as opposed to just, I'm a bozo on the bus. I'm just a normal, everyday, average kind of person. And this one therapist I worked with in this workshop, he was saying, like, if you're ever feeling entitled and working out of kind of ego entitlement, let's say, really what that is like, it's because of your deprivation. Like, where were you deprived? Because that's a counter to deprivation. Because people who feel, and that makes me think of, I don't want to get in the hot water. You tell me to shut up, but President Trump, can I mention this? Or
Yeah. You talk about whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you think about, Trump, God bless his soul, is like one of the most narcissistic people around. I'm the greatest. Everyone loves me, and I'm the. And when you think about that in terms of like deprivation, like, how did he experience deprivation as a child? Like, where was he not loved? When was he not held? When did he not get what he wanted?
Did he not get a jet? So now he needs the jet.
He needs the jet from Qatar. But it's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What as Ben said, he's going to be a beautiful Baruch Hashem father sooner than later in the next couple of days. You're a dad?
I am. Yeah. I have a 20-year-old son.
Mazel.
Yeah.
Any advice?
Grazie.
Anything to share with our new young dad to be here?
Oh God, I don't know. Get one of those the diaper things, the special diaper garbage cans.
Diaper genie.
Yes, the diaper genie that wraps it up so it doesn't stink.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
We have
I'll go
two.
with that. No, it's the stupidest cliche known to man, but it is so true. It's like, God, you have to just love that time with your kids. Like it goes so fast. And everyone says that, you roll your eyes, yeah, it goes so fast. It feels kind of endless. But before you know it, you're a teenager. Then they're a teenager and you're dealing with a whole other set of issues. And then before you know that, then they're off at college. My son's off at college and that's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I heard, because this is such a high T.
Oh,
yeah.
And do the sleep training.
Yes.
It sucks, but you got to do the sleep training. Trust me, if you want 10 years of your life to suck, don't do the sleep training.
Yeah. No, got to get them on a schedule.
And it sucks because they'll wail and shriek and they'll cry like they're going to spit out their lungs. It's torturous, but you got to do the sleep training.
Okay. Diaper genie and sleep training.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And love every minute of it. And just
I can't wait. I really like it's so funny how it hasn't happened yet. I think it's just the relationship with my wife, but like we've really been hunkered down for the last 9 months. We've already had that shift. We've been together for 13 years, married for 8, like very ready. We had our entire life together all ready to do everything that we wanted to do. We feel very fortunate that we're like, people are like, oh, get ready for your life to change. Like it's like, yeah, I'm ready and I'm excited about it. I'm not leaving anything behind. I feel very fortunate that I was able to get everything done that I felt like I needed to with her. So we're very excited.
And there's Nick's onesies.
Exactly. We're gonna be watching from the hospital, and then I have an arrangement. If they make it to the championship, I have to go to one game. I have to go to one game.
Yeah.
One game.
And maybe and baby name inspiration. He's having a boy. Maybe it's like Mish Anthony Town Soffer.
Yes, everybody's saying Brunson. Can you imagine? Honestly, I've been thinking about this.
Brunson Soffer?
Kind of sick.
Pretty good.
Kind of good.
It's also kind of nuts. Like when you go to like you were mentioning narcissism, the idea of naming my son after a player that I like is insane. Like that idea is insane to me. The fact that there are so many Michael Jordan Pecks walking around because their dad was a huge Bulls fan.
Yeah, my daughter's first name is Djokovic, but don't worry about
it. Like, what are you, nuts? That's crazy.
You know what's a good name? Rainn.
Rainn's lovely.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's gender neutral. Like if you didn't know the gender, it works either way.
We're having a
take
boy.
that, Joe Rogan. Gender neutral name right here. Not like Joe.
Yeah, Joseph from the Bible. But, you ever think about we've talked about this on the pod. You ever think about poor Joseph, the carpenter, right? There's Mary, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Bible kind of leaves out the teenage years of Jesus.
Sure.
Couldn't have been easy. You're the stepdad to Jesus.
That's got to be hard.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like, put your tunic away. And he's like, really? My dad's God.
That's
Can it, Joe?
That sounds like a good comedy movie of like young Jesus or teen Jesus.
Yeah.
Or something like, performing miracles at Joseph. Yeah. It's not his kid. That's got to be hard. It's got to be hard. Yeah.
Like we do it differently here. Then where? Heaven? Like, you know? Do you mind if I ask you a few office questions?
Of course.
My man. I'm fascinated to know when you've created...
No, you cannot ask me office questions.
Sorry,
I am finished with that chapter of my life, and I only want to be known by my spiritual path.
I thought I was being interviewed. Sorry. When you have a character that has become part of the lexicon, one of like the seminal characters of the last 50 years, I'm dying to know that from your audition to maybe, 1 year in, 5 years in, Was that character fully realized in the audition, or was there a moment, season 2, season 3, where you were like, this is the guy, I've completely found it now?
That's a great question. You know, it's interesting. You can see my audition tape online on YouTube. And honestly, I would say, like, there's not a huge difference between my audition for Dwight and Dwight in season 9. You know, a more fully realized character, sure, more kind of character attributes, you know, maybe he did him a little simplistically at first, but you know how it is as an actor, like, you kind of like, you lock into the essence of the character in such a way. What you aspire to do is lock into the essence of a character in such a way that you can be kind of thrown any material in any situation and you can just respond in character. And that kind of like self-serious, you know, inability to kind of view himself from the outside and have a perspective, you know, the kind of hyper determination, all of those kind of aspects drove him super early on in season 1 and drove him in season 9. But, you know, where would I say the whole show like fell into gear? It was like halfway through season 2. It was kind of like the Halloween episode, the Christmas episode, the Dundies episode, somewhere there in season 2, everyone just kind of like, it just stopped being worked at so much and just kind of like fell in. Yeah.
And was there an edict from the beginning of, because now it seems like a lot of half-hour comedies are not borrowing the style, but this idea of like having a bunch of alts ready to go, and sort of was the style of working for The Office seemed like you guys created something new as far as half-hour comedies go. Was that on day one, like, this is the way we're going to work, or was it sort of that was found throughout the process?
Well, there had been other mockumentaries. Obviously, it was like Spinal Tap was a mockumentary, but even like the Gary Shandling show, which the guy who directed our pilot and like 10 of our episodes, Ken Quappas, and he was a producer. He had directed Gary Shandling's show, and that was a kind of mockumentary behind the scenes of a talk show. But early on, we would come in season 1, we would come in and for like half an hour or maybe even an hour, we would just work at our desks. And they would just film us working, and we'd kind of improvise and like make copies and make phone calls and like get a glass of water from the water cooler, and just totally to kind of like sink us into the reality of this being a documentary. And so that went out the window later on. But I don't know if there's a big shift between season 1 and season 2. And I don't know if you noticed that. If you watch season 1, it's very drab. It's very dark. It's darkly lit. People don't have any makeup on. We're poor. There's nothing like American television about it whatsoever. And then in season 2, like, Steve does his hair a little better. We're wearing a little nicer suits. The set gets a little warmer in the way that it's lit. It's shot just a little bit friendlier, and it did help a lot. I think we were a little too close to the original BBC kind of really dark kind of version of The Office early on. And wait, I said Gary Shandling, Larry Sanders.
The Larry Sanders show.
Plug in Larry Sanders. There was a Gary Shandling show, and that was great, but it was Larry Sanders. So sorry, different S name. If we can plug that in.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to say it over and over again, and then you can edit this in the audio.
Just
Larry
it.
Sanders. Larry Sanders show. Larry Sanders show.
Cool.
Larry Sanders show.
This is cool.
So you just take those and then bleep that in from what I said previously. So there was the show changed and just became a little bit warmer and a little more human. And I think Michael Scott became a little bit more likable in a way. Like, I remember I think it was the Halloween episode where you see just Michael Scott handing out candy to children and just loving it. And just to see that, like, Michael Scott's got a big heart, you know, he's a doofus and he always says the wrong thing, but you know, he's a lovable guy. So more of that was kind of brought in as the show went along. And then, you know, when Steve left, then it was a little bit chaotic of trying to figure out the tone of the show and who's the lead and how are we telling these stories without, you know, the comic engine of the show, which is Michael Scott, and without one of the greatest comic actors in American history at the center of our show. So that was that was also a struggle.
Is that a gut punch when you first hear that?
That he's leaving?
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was coming for a long time. He was such a big movie star at the time. I mean, he was doing, God, I don't know how many millions of dollars he was getting for these big, giant movies. But he was, he was doing like Burt Wonderstone and these big comedies, and I'm forgetting all the names of them at the time.
Sure.
But Get Smart, stuff like that. Like they were in 2,000, theaters at the multiplex kind of. So of course he's going to leave the office when he can. So we were prepared for it, but that was definitely a struggle to find the tone of the show without Steve.
We had Brian Bumgardner on the podcast probably like 6 months ago, and he mentioned that there was just so much improv on the show, which I never realized.
Yeah.
At what point did the improv start to take over, and how much more fun is it working on a show where you can really just improvise like that, and the directors keep it and support it, and
it was like nothing I'd ever been a part of and ever will be a part of. It was incredible. And we really owe it to Greg Daniels, our showrunner, because he was so secure in his abilities and talents. He wasn't like this control freak. So we had great scripts and great writers. We always made sure that we got every line as scripted. And that's great. But then we could improvise. And then he would, the show is made, any piece of media content is made 3 times. It's made on the written page, it's made when you shoot it, and then it's made in the editing room, right? But our shows were really assembled in the editing room. And at that point, they would look at what's on the script, but it's whatever's funniest. And Greg Daniels would, true story, he would, if they didn't know like how to end a scene, let's say, and here's an improvised version, here's the scripted version, and here's this other crazy version, they would bring in like the security guard, the caterer, the janitor, the accountant, and they'd bring them in like this little test group into the editing suite, and they'd be like, hey, we're going to play you 3 endings to the scene. Tell us which one you like the best. And he would go with the one that
so good.
So good.
That the group
Genius.
Tested. So there wasn't that kind of ego around like, no, this is my script and this is how it's going to go and you're going to use this. But yeah, the ability to, there's also something about, and I'm wondering if you can relate to this as an actor, is when you know that you can improvise at any moment, and when you know that the other actor can also improvise at any moment, it keeps you on your toes in a different way as an actor at any time. Like if I'm doing a scene with John Krasinski and he knows I could go off script at any time, and I could say whatever the fuck comes to my mind, and he could do the same thing. There's a kind of like you're on a tightrope in a way as an actor that is I think a lot of the comedic magic of the show was often in a scripted scene, but where 2 actors don't know at any moment like what's going to come out of the other actor's mouth. It really forces you to really listen and respond.
Right. No, it makes you listen, and it makes you not make choices before because it sounded great in the shower that morning, because you don't know if they're going to serve it to you the way you heard it in your head hours before. And I did a show that Danny Chun, who was a writer on The Office, that he was the executive producer of. And I'd love to hear what you found in the final product of The Office, because what Danny would say is you have to be careful with improvs because sometimes it's funny because it's new. Because we've rehearsed it and we've done the joke on the paper 8 times. Yeah. And he's like, and sometimes you get a brilliant gift with good improv. He said, and sometimes what's on the paper was funnier. And you have to decide kind of in the edit what works. So what would you say was the ratio in the final Office product? 50-50, 60-40?
Oh no, it would end up being 80% scripted.
Got it.
Yeah. Maybe some episodes 85%, maybe some 75%. But those little moments of gold where there were some improvisation or extra lines, that's the frosting, that's the gravy. And there's a lot of sprinkly magic dust there. But he's absolutely right. Like you do a scene and it's scripted and there's a funny line and you do it 10 times and then it stops being funny. And then someone says, I'm going to eat a watermelon with my anus. And it's ha, 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 ha. It's so funny. And everyone laughs and everyone's like, oh, that's great. But you're right. You get to the editing room and it's like, the scripted line is actually better and smarter and funnier. But maybe it got a little stale in the telling.
Did you break?
All the time.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at David. Folks, I'm telling you, David protein bars are the best bars, period. I have at least one per day. At least because, look, you've never seen a protein bar with macros like this, okay? We're talking, you ready for this? Are you ready for this? 150 calories, 28 grams of protein, and 0 grams of sugar. You heard that right. 150 calories, 28 grams of protein, and 0 grams of sugar. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds way too good to be true. They must taste like crap. I am telling you, they taste amazing. Blueberry's the best flavor. It's not even close. You need to try it. So good. They are all amazing. Honestly, get a bunch of them. See which one's your favorite. They are so good. And I'm telling you, when you need just a quick boost, you're podcasting all day long, you're running around, you need to grab something quick, high in protein, out of your bag, out of your pocket to get you through the day. But you don't want any sugar because sugar is going to completely counteract that. It's going to send you snoozing. No sugar, 150 calories, 28 grams of protein. David is the least calories for the most protein you'll ever find in a bar. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and excess calories. David bars are completely different, and it's perfect for staying full and hitting your protein goals without any of the added junk. I'm telling you, higher protein to calorie ratio. 75% of its calories come from protein, which is 50% higher than any other bar. Also, cute packaging, this iconic gold, it's fantastic. You'll love it. It's available online and at retailers. It's perfect for keeping in your bag for a quick, satisfying snack. So many flavors, as I mentioned, and endorsed by fitness enthusiasts and professionals like Andrew Huberman. What more do you need to hear? I'm telling you, David is it. That's why I always have David protein bars with me, because they really are a lifesaver. David is offering my listeners a deal to buy 4 cartons and get the 5th free at davidprotein.com/goodguys. That's DAVIDPROTEIN, davidprotein.com/goodguys to get your 5th carton free. Humans aren't perfect, but David is. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Go Pure. Folks, skincare is incredibly important. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm snatched to the gods. That's right, I used that phrase. I'm snatched to the god because of Go Pure. That's because my skin, it's tightened, it's gorgeous. It looks maybe like I even got a neck lift. I didn't get a neck lift though. What are you, nuts? But I'm looking to tighten and lift my neck with this gorgeous cream from Go Pure. And I'm telling you folks, you need to try it. You'll be amazed at how soft and hydrated your skin feels after just one use. Mine did. I'm telling you folks, you'll find yourself constantly touching your neck and thinking, holy smokes, that's smooth. The skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than facial skin, which means it requires specialized care. You can't do a one-size-fits-all. That simply doesn't work. And Go Pure's proprietary firming complex is designed to visibly firm and smooth the skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. How easy is that? In a customer study, 100% of users said their skin looked more supple, and 97% noticed a firmer appearance. That's what we want, folks, a firmer appearance. And dermatologists recommend it. It's cruelty-free, paraben-free, and sulfate-free, free of all the crap. With over 1 million jars sold, this beauty secret is no longer a secret, baby. I'm telling you, it is it. Because Go Pure isn't just about transforming the skin on your neck. They have a full line of science-backed skin and body care to tighten, lift, and smooth skin from head to toe. From powerful targeted body creams to deeply hydrating retinol moisturizers, every product is packed with clean, effective ingredients that deliver real results without the harsh chemicals or hefty price. Go Pure delivers on value with over 100,000 real women with real results. So folks, tighten, lift, and restore elasticity in your neck, because your skincare routine shouldn't stop at your jawline. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off Go Pure with code GOODGUYS at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com. That's GOPUREBEAUTY.com. Use code GOODGUYS and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor. When they ask where you heard about Go Pure, tell them it was from our show.
Who's the biggest breaker on The Office? Who broke?
Brian Baumgartner was the biggest breaker on The Office, not even a close second. John and I would set each other off. Like if John and I were doing a scene and there was just a little bit of a twinkle or the corner of a mouth going, the other person would just lose it immediately. Oscar, I think he broke once in 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even remember what scene it was, but someone told me that I think that he had broken one. He would never break. Oscar never break Nunez. And he's on the new show, The Paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
they heard he doesn't break.
He's like, get him. Give me the guy that doesn't break.
We need Oscar.
What, let's get Baumgartner for it. No, he breaks all the time. Screw him.
Can't trust that.
Nah.
And are you still very close with the cast? Like, is there like a group chat still?
Yes.
Like, there is. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got a lot of group chats. I got the group chat with the kind of the leads, if we're talking about something like, oh, they want to do an office thing, what do you think? And then the full office group chat, and then I talk to Jenna and Angela all the time, and then there's variations of the chat. Then there's the Jenna, Angela, Brian, Kate, Oscar, Creed version, and then there's the Craig Robinson it's all there.
Now, when you say office thing with the leads, what do you mean? Like,
well, like NBC wants to do a photo shoot for the 20th anniversary, blah blah blah, and do a thing like, do we want to do this? Are we sure? Like,
we're not talking reboot.
No.
Okay,
Sorry,
got it.
I mean, there's definitely the reboot has floated up many times, but there's Steve's doing all these other movies and shows, and John's directing and doing other stuff, and I would be open to something like it, but not for like doing a show. Maybe a one-off or a special or a movie or something like that would be fun. But people are in different places and have different needs and stuff like that. So I think we'll just let it stay that we made 200 amazing episodes and 183 amazing episodes and a few middling episodes, and which is a pretty good ratio. How many Drake and Josh episodes are great versus middling?
Oh God.
How many Drake and Josh episodes were there?
There were 60. They rerun them a lot, which is why it feels like there's more.
Like,
no
300.
residuals.
Yeah.
No. What were you saying, Ben?
I was going to say, having watched them, I think 55 were great.
Thank you. God bless.
That's great. That's so sweet.
Yeah.
It was so.
Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh didn't quite hit the mark, and we all know that. And Rainn says it all the time.
All the time. All the time. It's in my Instagram bio, actually. Yeah. Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh didn't work. It's in my.
I agree. It's weird.
Yeah.
Should we get to a speak pipe, Ben?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
So we do this thing where we get questions from the audience. They want advice from us for some reason. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's fun. It's cute.
Okay. All right.
So I think we could maybe try one or two before we get to our final segment. Yes, Ben?
And in case you hear them refer to themselves as morons, that's just the name of our fandom.
Okay. Fair
so
enough.
they might say, "Hi, I'm a moron. Don't be alarmed."
I fit right in with that.
It's endearing. It's endearing.
We'll start with it. If you want to leave us, get some advice, want to leave us a message, go to speakpipe.com/goodguys. Keep it brief. Brevity is key. Let's do a light one with Catherine. Nice warm up.
What up, good guys? Here we go. Brevity is key. So my dad's new wife keeps making me banana bread. I don't fucking like banana bread. I just keep getting loaves and loaves and loaves of banana bread. She's the new wife. She's so sweet. And I just don't have it in my heart to tell her to stop. What do? I can't keep having all of this banana bread in my house.
Champagne problems, am I right?
Banana bread problems. Listen, hashtag banana bread. Catherine is her name?
Indeed.
Catherine, you're doing the right thing. Suck it up. Keep the banana bread. It doesn't need to be in your house, though, Catherine. You can give it away. Do you have any friends, Catherine? Do you have any neighbors, Catherine?
Yep.
But I'm way to not shame the wife and just be like, thank you so much. You make the best banana bread. I really appreciate it so much. And then just give it to your neighbor or your dog.
I love it. I think Catherine should start a side business. She should pretend that she's baking the banana bread. Meanwhile, she's selling it off to her neighbors. She goes door to door, sells it for $8 a loaf. She keeps getting all the banana bread. Meanwhile, she's lining her pockets. I think it's a win-win.
Banana bread food truck.
Yes.
Banana
I'm in.
truck.
I'll invest.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not eating it right. Toast it. Put some peanut butter on it. Ever did that?
Hey.
Delicious.
Yeah. I'm 17
Did you just
years
come
sober.
up with that? Okay.
Listen, I need something.
Yeah. To get you through the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've done that. I do that. I party. I fucks.
All right.
I
Yeah.
fucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. Okay, next one is from, all right, let's get really saucy here. Oh, this is one from Lauren.
Hey, Josh and Ben. So my fiance and I are getting married in October, and long story short, my fiance has made the decision not to invite his father to our wedding. He's a piece of shit. We found out that he had an affair with my fiance's best friend, like childhood best friend, who's also his best man. Like for a large portion of his marriage of like 30 years. And his dad actually ended the marriage and then didn't tell anyone. And then we found out about the affair. He lied, told everybody different lies, then tried to somehow blame everybody else. He hasn't said sorry once or accounted for any of his actions. So I think it's a valid decision for my fiance not to want him there. It's his day. He doesn't want to be stressed out. But here's the argument, and I need you guys' opinion on this. Is it more drama for his dad to be invited, or is it more drama for his dad not to be invited? The way I see it is if his dad comes, everybody's watching us under a microscope to see how we're interacting with him, how he's interacting with the rest of the family, because everybody knows what happened. But if he's not there, then, everybody notices at the beginning, they're like, oh, what a shame. And then we move on and celebrate the rest of the night. Curious to know what your guys' stance is on this. Thanks.
So just to clarify, the dad cheated on the mom with the son's best friend,
Who's also his best man.
who's also currently his best man.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Well, why is the best man invited?
I was going to ask the same question.
Yeah, and not just an usher. I mean,
Why is he? Why are they still friends?
This is very complicated. Yeah.
maybe we do just a high level.
Well, I think I'll dive in.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe this is the perspective of being in my late 50s. I just think more forgiveness needs to be shown to people. People make a lot of mistakes. They do a lot of shitty things. I have. You have. I'm guessing Ben has.
I have.
Not bad.
I have.
We've
terrible things.
We've made mistakes and been short-sighted and, operated off of some of our baser, worser instincts. And maybe a wedding is just a time to, to celebrate and come together and just let that stuff go. This does sound especially complicated, but maybe it's a kind of thing like, hey, you can come to the ceremony, and then after the ceremony, we need you to leave. I don't know. But it doesn't sound like there's a lot of communication going on. It's like, this isn't like being hashed out about, it sounds like half the people don't know this has happened and some do, but it's all there's a lot of like, everyone's going to be watching and they're going to be talking and they're going to be whispering. And, maybe there needs to be some group therapy here. We need the best man, the bride, the groom, the dad, the mom, the caterer,
the DJ.
the DJ.
Yeah. It sounds hectic, and I agree with you. I think that as long as they're not worried the dad's the type to make a scene, like if there's a chance that he acts out at the wedding, can't come. But yeah, I also think, and I know this with my own wedding, if there's a chance that you will reconcile with someone in the next 20 years, you'll be happy they were there, even if in the moment it wasn't great. And so,
but I wonder also how does the mom feel about it? Because she's really the person.
Yeah.
She's the one who was cheated on. How does she feel about it? Does she know about it?
I'm also trying to understand, is the best man, I assume the best man is a man, right? So how does the mom, there's a lot that we don't understand here.
Mm-hmm.
The mom is still married to a guy who is clearly gay and cheated with a younger man who's best friends with her son. I don't understand any of it. I'm just going to say that based on what I do understand, it seems that you can't call the dad a piece of shit, but still be best friends with the best man, who's also a piece of shit because he was cheating with your dad on your mom. Like, how can you be best friends? Like, this whole thing is
full
insanity.
Full Springer.
Rest in peace. This is insanity. So I don't know. I agree. Ask the mom. What do you want? What do you want us to do here? Do you want us to invite dad? Do you want us to not be friends with this guy anymore? I would ask the mom.
If you invite the dad, the only thing I would ask is that you film the whole wedding
Yes.
and put it on YouTube so we can watch how the whole thing unfolds.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that'll get bought by Netflix.
Yeah, in a
100%.
heartbeat.
100. We go banana bread, we go infidelity. Let's have one more.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by our friends at Brooklyn Bedding. Folks, you know that as a new dad, sleep is so important. And I'm telling you, if you're not sleeping on a Brooklyn Bedding bed, you are making a huge mistake. Are you having night sweats, maybe some back pain? You never know. It could be your bed. It could be your bed. Are you sleeping on your back? Uncomfortable. Are you sleeping on your side? Uncomfortable. Are you sleeping on your stomach? Uncomfortable. I'm telling you, folks, then it's not you. It's your bed, and you could probably use an upgrade. I'm telling you, the second that I hopped into Brooklyn Bedding, my goodness, I'm sleeping like a baby. A true baby. I'm sleeping like my son. Literally a baby. Brooklyn Bedding has been around for 25 years and is known for top-of-the-line comfort and quality without the luxury price tag. Brooklyn Bedding really is something for everyone with different firmness options, heights, and dimensions to fit right into your lifestyle. And their mattresses are designed and custom-made by the best master craftsmen in the industry, with free shipping in the U.S. from their factory in Arizona. USA, USA. And don't forget to upgrade to the Cloud Pillow Top. The Glaciotech's cooling technology leaves you cool and comfortable all night long, bringing you next-level comfort, matched only by actually floating on a cloud. How gorgeous is that? And Brooklyn Bedding is free of fiberglass, which can be harmful to your health. Unlike other mattress brands, they ensure their entire facility is free of fiberglass. Thank God, who knew? Fiberglass? What are you, nuts? That doesn't belong in your bed. Sleep on your Brooklyn bed mattress for up to 120 nights, and if you don't love it as much as I do, they'll help you return it or pick out a different one. So folks, what are you waiting for? Go to brooklynbedding.com and use my promo code GOODGUYS at checkout to get 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. You have to use our promo code on the very last page of checkout to get this discount. That's brooklynbedding.com and use our promo code GOODGUYS for 30% off site-wide. brooklynbedding.com, promo code GOODGUYS. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Dentech. Dentech is the brand to empower everyone to take charge of their oral care health, going beyond the basics to provide a broad array of innovative products ranging from floss picks and tongue cleaners for your everyday care to more specialized products for pain, care, repair, and protection with dental guards for nighttime grinding. Dentech is the leader, #1 brand in dental guards for nighttime teeth grinding and offers a variety of dental guards to meet needs, ranging from customizable guards for a personalized and secure comfort fit to convenient, no fitting needed, ready-to-wear guards. Healthy gums are just as important as healthy teeth for a comprehensive dental hygiene routine. And the new and first-of-its-kind Gum Health Advanced Cleaning Kit is exclusively designed to deep clean plaque from the gum line and massage for stronger, healthier-feeling gums in just 10 days. The kit includes exclusively formulated cleansing gel, an applicator with 30 disposable micro-bristle precision applicator tips, and a double-sided cleaning tool with a plaque scaler and a gum massaging tip. The Oral Brush Tongue Cleaner freshens breath with its unique dual action. Its 103 ultra-soft, micro-pointed bristles reach deep into the uneven crevices of your tongue to loosen and lift bacteria while the scraper collects and removes it. How cool is that? So, folks, head to dentech.com to find your local retailer and shop all of Dentech's products. That's Dentech, DENTEK.com, sold at Target, Walgreens, Amazon, and Walmart.
Hey, good guys. Shalom from Tel Aviv, BHBH. I wanted to ask you about a dilemma I'm having. A few days ago, a friend of mine blocked a guy from dating apps for harassing her, and he took it way too far, sending her requests on our version of Venmo with continued disgusting messages. She denied the requests, and he stopped, but I told her that if he continues to message her like this, she should call the police. Cut to today, I got a frantic call from a different friend about how she got a call from the police saying that they received a complaint from a guy about her and that she needs to stop messaging him or else she'll have to come down to the station if they get another complaint. She then admits to me that the guy
who she was supposed to go on a first date with last week and ghosted her. And then she texted him and he blocked her. And then she found him on Facebook and he blocked her. And then messaged him on OkCupid and he unmatched her. Then she adds she emailed him a few times out of desperation. She admits she went overboard because she was feeling very low, but tells me that she's mad that he called the police instead of answering her. I'm in shock that both of these things would happen within a few days of each other. And basically my question is, how do you support a close friend who's freaking out over her own unhinged actions when she made decisions that you disagree with? She's lonely and single for a while, has pretty horrible luck dating, but that's not an excuse for this absolutely inappropriate behavior. What do you think?
I think we're doomed. I think we're doomed. I think dating. I've heard. Do you guys have young? You're youngish folks. Do you have young friends dating? It's supposed to be just terrible out there right now. It's so hard, and the way the algorithms and the apps work, and it's terrible. And even the idea of these apps, where it's almost like a gambling app. The dating app almost looks like sports betting apps, you know, and it's like, when's the next thing? And then it is not a formula to find like true intimacy, but it's so hard to meet people, and I get why people use them at the same time. I don't want to be judgy, but it's got to be hard, right?
Yeah, but it sounds like
But also don't stalk people. Okay.
Well, it sounds like they had found each other's perfect match. He was a stalker, she was a stalker. Why not? I mean,
yeah, connect those two.
Perfect.
Done.
No.
Win-win. Yeah.
Yeah. This girl needs new friends. These friends are causing you too much stress. Yeah. And I would connect them and I would never talk to either of them again, because this is just, it's too much. It's too much for the one heart to take. I don't know.
If you're having to reach out over Yelp, they're over you. It's not working.
Yeah, totally. No good.
I feel like, who's the guy who shot the guy, the CEO, the healthcare CEO?
Oh, Luigi.
Yeah. Luigi. I feel like all of them need to fall in love with Luigi and write him and stalk him and send him letters. They would be great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or AI. AI. That's a big thing now. People are finding AI lovers. I just read an article about how that's happening in Japan, and that is coming here, that the lonely aren't going to be lonely anymore because of AI. So maybe go and talk to AI and they'll always respond back.
But
you know?
How do you have sex with AI?
We don't know.
Or how about this?
Yet.
You have sex with banana bread.
Yeah.
Yes.
Use AI for fantasy, but where the rubber hits the road is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Use the banana bread. I
Warm.
like it.
Yeah.
Gooey.
Soft.
Yeah. Joe
Banana
Rogan
bread always loved me.
I have it on inside information. Joe Rogan fucks banana bread.
You know what?
I believe it.
I'm going to go and say yeah. Yes. Should we get to our What Are You Nuts, Ben?
Yeah, let's do it.
You guys have a lot of segments.
It's our final one. We promise. Our What Are You Nuts moment of the week is our gripes with people, places, and things, both big and small, whatever's sticking in your craw. So Ben and I will start. Take your time to think about it. There's no bad nuts. Whatever you walk down the street right now, you were driving here, you were like, what are you, nuts? Who would do that? Anything, everything. Take your time. No pressure. Ben and I will give you some examples. Ben?
Uber drivers that wear cologne are completely nuts, Rainn. You walk into an Uber, you sit there, all of a sudden you can't breathe because they are wearing so much Armani. It is just too much. I just want to know, who are they wearing the cologne for, right? If they're wearing it for themselves, they can wear less, right? But they're not, unless you're trying to make a pass at the person in the back seat and you think that they're going to smell your beautiful cologne and you're going to hop to the front seat and all of a sudden you're going to form a relationship. There is no need for this. My wife got in it. Again, I mentioned she is full term. She couldn't breathe. Pregnant women and this cologne, you can't do it. Wearing cologne in an Uber is a complete what are you nuts when you are a driver. And when you're a passenger. Don't stink it up for him either.
I got a couple what are you nuts. One is speakerphone conversations in public. You've probably been over this.
Good.
But I was sitting in Pan Quotidien the other day having a cup of coffee.
Okay, this guy's syndicated.
We're having a $9 cup of coffee and working on my laptop. And then next to me is a guy and the phone rings. That's fine. He can take a little phone call. That's fine. There is an option to hold it up to your ear and have a conversation. He puts it on speaker in front of his face like this. And it's like, hey, Gary, and hey, what are you doing? I'm having some coffee here, and that's a very New York thing, Ben, right?
Yes.
I don't understand because it's so loud. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense on so many different levels. And now on airlines, they make an announcement that if you're going to watch media, that you should use earphones. Like, why do they even have to announce that? But yet I have seen people do it where they're watching, Grey's Anatomy on their phone with like the speaker blaring.
Nuts.
So that everyone around them can hear it. What are you, nuts?
We spoke about narcissism 30 minutes ago. That's what it is. Josh and I
How
spoke
were
about
they
this the other day.
deprived? I go up to them. I'm like, how were you deprived as a child? Do you need a hug right now? I am going to give you a hug.
They do. We've each independently experienced people on speakerphone in steam rooms and saunas.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. In a 3-4 person enclosed sauna, speakerphone. What are you, nuts?
Well, why do they have a phone?
Lost their minds.
But the phone would be damaged in the sauna anyway, right?
There's an epidemic of people with phones in saunas.
Wow.
As a sauna guy, yeah, constantly. Steam room, too. I'm like, so much moisture.
You guys are in a lot of saunas and steam rooms. What's going on?
We're married. No, I'm kidding. My What Are You Nuts is silly captions for your photos on Instagram. Shout out the great Craig Conover, wonderful guest to the show, reality TV star, entrepreneur. We love him. He posted this beautiful photo collage recently. He's doing ads for all of his companies. He's, in Charleston, South Carolina, living beautifully. So many, 8-10 pictures of just like a beautiful life. And his caption is, "Match my chaos." What are you, nuts? It's not chaotic. You're eating a club sandwich, dog. There's nothing chaotic about this. Match my chaos? Like, what? By wearing chinos? Like, homie, everything's fine. Nothing chaotic here. What are you, nuts? Love you, Craig.
That's so funny. I saw that and I was thinking nothing about this is chaotic. I had the same thought. So good.
It was a movie.
You know what else is good, Josh?
Wait.
This podcast.
Sorry. Rainn, do you want to plug anything? You want to plug the pod? Anything you want to?
Well, yeah, I think the Soul Boom podcast is something I'm really proud of, and we've been doing it for about a year, and we have fun conversations about mental health, spirituality, the meaning of life, with a few laughs along the way, and I'd love to get some of your good guy morons to come on over and join the ride.
Awesome.
Well, you have a new listener in me. Folks, this episode is 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you, nuts? We should also introduce, have you met Jay Shetty before I close? You know Jay Shetty?
I have not met him. We texted a few times, and I huge admirer of his work in bringing spiritual conversations to large audiences. Makes it very accessible, brings a lot of healing to folks. Yeah.
He was just on our podcast. My wife was on his. I think that he would be a perfect guest for Soul Boom. And if you haven't been on his, that's right up Jay's alley.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so funny
Good
and
swap.
nice, and he was great.
You're gonna make that happen, Ben. Thank you.
I'm gonna make that happen. I'll set that up.
Thank you.
I'll do that. And folks, this is why this episode is 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you, nuts? Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Watch us on YouTube. Share our clips. Instagram and TikTok Mondays and Thursdays, folks. The great Rainn Wilson. We will see you next time. Perfect. Thanks so much.